been a rough couple days. We had still don't have the key to the car. We have a guest today with us. That's Rowdy. Hey Rowdy. And off he goes. You know, Tank just left me woke up this morning, nice surprise in there. Just gonna put him out here for a while. He doesn't want to go, but that's how it works. You hear that? Ducks all over the place. Let me just tell you the story about this car a little bit. It started, this Cadillac, it started when I needed a car. So, needed a car and I had a choice between this Cadillac, which I already knew had to have the head bolts taken out, tapped, drilled and tapped and studded, or a Mercedes that needed just about the same price, but it needed transmission. So I went to this mechanic that I was trusting at the time and asked him which one he would like to work on, if he wanted to work on the Cadillac or the Mercedes. Mercedes I could have done. It was just simple. It was just a simple transmission swap. I could have done that pretty easily myself with limited tools. But the dropping the engine out of the Cadillac is the one that drops down through the bottom, the whole engine cradle, and then drilling and tapping the studs, and then putting putting performance studs in there. That's a big job, right? So I thought, well, if he wants to do it, I'll buy the Cadillac if he wants to, So I took it out there and he said, yeah, I'll do the Cadillac. I choose the Cadillac. All right, we made a deal for really cheap deal. I told him, he was gonna do for like $800 or whatever, and that was fine. That's really cheap, I know. But he was choosing that, right? We could have got the Mercedes and that would have been fine. Okay, so took the car over there. He kept it for a year, right? And didn't do any work to it. And the guy, originally, when I bought it, the guy had told me he had just had the water pump replaced, which they have external belt-driven water pumps, and which is the problem. Those water pumps go out, then the car overheats, and when the car overheats, usually about 100 to 110,000, the North Star engines, once the car overheats like that, it pops the threads to the head bolts, and then the car then it continually overheats. And then the only real repair back then was those head studs, putting studs in. There is now, I went and priced them, they're like $4 a pop. You can put the inserts, there's like these steel inserts that you can put in that supposedly solve the problem, but I already got $400 or $500 invested in the studs, so I thought we'd do that. Okay, so after I got it back, he said, oh, the only problem was the water pump, which I knew wasn't true. And as soon as I ran it up the hill, of course it overheated. And then I got a hold of him. What he had done, I'm sure, is bought that stuff that's online, that supposedly fixes it. You pour it in and it supposedly fixes it. The miracle goo or whatever. And of course it didn't work. It overheated fast. And but I was able to drive back and forth for about 4 months before it got so bad I couldn't drive it. Okay, so I got 4 months for my $400, plus he charged me $300 for the work he done on it, and supposedly fixed the air conditioning, which the air conditioning failed within those 4 months. So that guy just took me to the bank. Okay, so I'm stuck with this car now. Here it is. 2 years later, I've had it since then. And you know, when I realized that the car was not going to make it back in time for work, I had bought the BMW, and I ran that for two years before the lady hit me and totaled it. Okay, so that brings you up to speed on the Cadillac. Okay, so what happened? I called the locksmith. First I went to the dealership, right? The dealership, they charged me 16 bucks for a number after spending, like I said, I think I told you about that, spent an hour, a couple hours there or whatever, and finally they said they couldn't give me a key. They didn't have any in stock and do anything other than give me a number. So they gave me a number. Well, I called the locksmith, and he came out and he made this key right here, which is not the transponder key, because this key fits the doors just fine, and it'll open up the doors just fine. But when I go inside the car, if I try to use it in the car, nothing. It won't turn the, see, it won't turn the, nothing. Now that's kind of weird, because I don't remember there being two keys in this car. Matter of fact, this is right here is where I had left the key, right there, so that it would be here to be able to move. But the key's gone. Someone got in the car and took the key or whatever, so now the key's gone. So I'm having all these problems. And so the next step is, now I have to take out the ignition and pull the ignition out, and it looks like I'll have to ruin the ignition since I don't have the key to be able to pull it out and then replace it. So there's another 50 bucks. And then after I replace it, before I put it in, actually, I have to take it to the locksmith and have it keyed for this new key. And then that's another $100. Okay, so we're getting up there. It's over $200 just to replace the key on a car that I'm not even sure is going to run yet. I'm really tempted just to, you know, they'll only give me 50 bucks for it at the wrecking yard, you know, but I'm tempted just to take it over there and go get a new car, right? But I can't afford it, so I'm not doing that. I mean, my music's not taking off. I'm not making any extra money right now, so I'm going to try to pull the ignition out. That'll be the job. So that's where I'm at on this Cadillac. It's the Cadillac Nightmare. So wish me luck. I'll do a how-to, I guess. I'll do a how-to when I pull the ignition out. Other than that, it's been cold and wet. This is how it's been out here for 2 days now. 2-3 days, just cold, damp, wet. You don't want to do anything. So when I got discouraged, you know, and I didn't know what to do. So I went over here and I thought, well, I'll pull on this. Remember, we replaced that engine on that rototiller, which it's time now to get out there and start tilling around the trees and stuff. And I went to pull on it, and it pulls, but it is, oh, I guess it's better than I remember. It's not starting anyway, but it feels like too much resistance in the motor. I don't know if it's because the oil is so thick or what. All right, so on the flip side, I was able to work on music, and I sent it off to one person to listen to it, one of my friends. He gave me he thought a couple areas needed adjustments, so we made those adjustments. Now I'll be sending it off to somebody else here in a little bit. I don't know who yet. And I got a hold of the the singer, who is right now probably giving birth, she has agreed to put one more verse, so we're going to put another verse in it. I mean, I was happy with what she done, but I wasn't happy with the length of the song. It needed another verse, so we're going to add a verse. And it's like at 2 minutes. We don't really want to go too far over 3, because there's like a time, you know, for normal songs to be. And since this is sort of a crossover song, it's Christian and it's radio play type song music, so we really don't want to go over 3 minutes, 3 minutes 20 seconds. We definitely don't want to hit 3.5 minutes, so we want to stay lower. So I think we'll be able to put a verse in it and still stay right around 3 minutes on that song, and that'll be good too. So other than that, I haven't started any of the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing around here. I have tons of repairs to do, but I'll get to that stuff too. I mean, on cold days I just don't like to come out and work. Alright, so here we are. We're about to take this ignition right here out of the car. As you can see, it won't turn. We had the locksmith out. He said that somebody must have jimmied it or something's gone wrong, and we have to take out the ignition. I got this instruction manual. I have my drill. I have my extra bits. Sort of an instruction manual. It says 1, disable SIR. What's that? No idea. We'll go on. Apply the parking brake. Okay, it's on. Disconnect the negative battery terminal. Well, why are we going to do that? I don't see any use in doing that, so I'm not going to do it. Remove the radio. Oh, that's all it tells you. Remove the radio. It doesn't tell you how. Pry the ignition lock cylinder bezel off of the ignition switch. Remove the bolster. Disconnect the ignition switch. Electrical connectors. Remove the ignition switch through the radio opening. Okay. Remove the radio. That's all it says. Now, alright, so just went and looked. I looked all over. I can't find anything for how to release the shift lock. Or I found, you know, there was information on how to take out the radio, right? But you have to take out the shifter. So we're just gonna look really hard and see what we can find.
Can I use you? Will you go? Deep inside my heart, you placed your dream.
Alright, so I couldn't find the manual release to the shift lock at all. So I just end up breaking it out the best I could. You know, unscrewing parts, and it's still engaged, so I don't know. Now next is those screws there, right there and right there. They're 7 mil, so we'll take those out next.
Set my spirit free. My heart just wants to be used for your glory. Lord, use me. Set my spirit free.
I'm still going to have to find the shift lock release, because
deep inside my soul, my heart cries out. Now it's the lost and unsaved I see.
okay, so finally I could never find the release on it, so I just took all my strength and I forced it into neutral. Nothing broke, luckily, but now I can take off this bolt right here. Or actually, I already took it off. Now if I can get my... right there. Alright, now I'm going to pull out the radio. These have just clips on them that I'm told that they come right off. So let's see. Yep, that one's coming out. That one came out. So I'm not sure what this is now. I'm trying to get this whole plug out, I think. Figures. And look, there's one screw that is screwed on, of course. One screw screwed on. So I'll put this down here now. Alrighty then. Got the radio out. Now we have to get the ignition out. And that is gonna be, I've seen one guy actually cut this. I don't know why you would cut that. That doesn't make sense at all. I looked all over online. There was no information on where the lock release was on this model. I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't in the owner's manual, it wasn't online anywhere. And finally I just forced it. There was no only thing I could do. Next. Let's see, remove the radio. Insert the key, ignition key. We don't have that. If keys are broken or unavailable, the ignition lock cylinder is seized. Proceed to the following steps. Pry the ignition lock bezel off of the ignition switch. I guess that would be this. It's not really coming out too easy. Wow. Okay. I've seen people remove this that way, but it's not coming off for me. You know? I'm not trying to break things, you know? I don't want to break things. It's not coming up. Wow. And I think we got it without breaking it. Oh, right there, that one broke. That one broke. It doesn't come off as easy as it says it will. That's for sure. But there's the bezel. Now, there's some 8mm or 7mm screws back there.
You said the plan I have for you is not your own.
Okay, so let's show you. So now I took that off, and now I got to work with this stuff. Let's see. We got to take those wires off, and then we have to figure out. How in the world that thing pops out of there. So let's give it a shot. Okay, it looks like the wires just pop out through the bottom right here. This one just sort of slides, I think. Yep. These come off this way. I thought. Let's hold them. I definitely don't want to break these. fastener that I'm not seeing. Like normal.
My spirit free. I give you all that I am. That's all that you ask of me.
Guess I'll take a break for a second, eat breakfast or lunch or whatever. I'm too lazy to cook, so I'm gonna have some cereal. Live cinnamon. Unpackaged. I'm getting weak in my old age. I can't even open the package anymore. It is. Looks like it's the phone holder for the car that I bought. Because a lot of times, instead of taking the camera in the car to do the vlog, I'm just going to use my phone. The suction cup type that suction cups to the, doesn't look like suction cup, looks like it's the sticky type. I don't want the sticky type. Oh no, it's suction cup. It's the suction cup. It's just sort of sticky on there. I see. Alright, that. And then that doesn't look like it's gonna. No. YouTube is just not what it used to be. I remember when I first started using YouTube, you could find anything. And you could watch movies for free, you know, people upload it and all kinds of stuff. But nowadays, man, it's all about making money, and you can never find what you want. You know, search engines are the same thing. You Google something, you get 1,000 things that you don't want, you know, and you have to search for hours to find what you do want. And there's one doesn't show anything. The guy just talks. But he says it can be done without cutting or hurting anything, right? And the other one, the guy cut up his car, but he did tell you what bolts to take out at least, you know, so we'll try that. Okay, so the guy said to take out this one that I thought was just holding stuff in, and evidently it's holding more than we thought. So let's start with that. Now he said just push back on it and it should come out, but I'm not seeing it come out. You should be able to get in there. I'm not even able to push it back at all.
You said I have for you is not your own. Can I use you? Will you go?
You know, I sure wish that guy, whoever stole my key, wouldn't have stole my key.
Telling me you'll always be by my side. Nothing holding back. I'm ready to do your will. Your spirit in me, change the world. I can change the world. And Lord, send me.
Right, where am I? Right there, see it? So I guess there's one there and one on the bottom. And so now I gotta go get, looks like a 10. I'll go get a 10. So I got that one out. Now there's the second one, see it? It's right there. Okay, I got that one out, but it was a pain. It was bare. Now I got it turned enough, I think, that I might be able to get this one out now. And I think that's the last one. I'm not sure, but we'll give it a shot. Well, I'm not seeing it. It's not coming out. he said that this that once you undo those bolts, that you should be able to push back on the ignition itself and turn this thing to where you can take it out, the bracket. But that bracket is not turning. I don't care what he says. It's not turning for me, that's for sure. Got that thing all the way out. I got all the bolts out that I could find, but it's not turning for me. So we'll keep trying. Okay, though. I got it out, but I had to cut it like that guy did. But here's why: because there's one more bolt clear back there that you don't see, that nobody sees and nobody tells you about. So, you know, that one more bolt that nobody sees and nobody tells you about, it sits all the way on the opposite side. It's all the way on the opposite side, on this side, which there's no way to get it anyway. So there's no way to get to it. So, you know, this is about the only way you're going to do it, is to cut it out like I did. What a pain. Okay, here's why I couldn't get the wires off. You see they got the little clips on this side. You have to push down these clips like that, you know, and then the wires will come off. You don't ever want to separate this though. See where this looks like it separates right there? Don't ever separate that, because those connections you'll never get right. Okay, so this is as far as I got right here. I looked at this little thing here, pushed down everything there. There's a slot here, goes in there. I'm afraid to take these tabs off here. If I take these tabs off, because they're really getting in trouble. I think we're about done for the day. That's about all I can do. I'll go and do some research, see what I can get on eBay, what kind of ignition. I already looked once. I couldn't find an ignition with a key that worked already. So, but I'll look again. And as far as getting new stuff goes, without knowing how to drill it out to get the tumbler out, I'm gonna have to pay a locksmith, you know, a couple $100 to come out, drill it out, pull the tumbler out, put a new tumbler in, rekey it, put a new tumbler in, and go from there. So that'll be a couple $100, and then I've already spent all day pulling that thing out. What a pain. But that's where I'm at, so I'll go from there. I'll go look on eBay. Maybe I can find the parts, maybe I can't. And you know, this car, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get this thing fixed, because it overheats. It needs the head bolt studded, and that's a big job by itself. But we're going through all this just to be able to get this thing to the mechanic to pull the engine out and see if, as long as the block's not cracked and the heads aren't cracked and stuff, then it'll work. But there's a chance, you know, that I loaned this car out. I'm sure who had it overheated it really well, so there's a chance that block has cracked blocks and stuff. So I don't know, I'm just wondering if I'm not throwing money away here, but we're gonna keep trying. I already bought the battery. I got all this money invested into it, so, and I'm just talking to the wind now. I'll talk to you later. All right, so I was able to find a key set on eBay with ignition, door locks, fob, key, and everything. The whole set for a little over $100. And so I ordered that. It won't be in for about a week. So now that's put on hold for a week, that job. But at least I'll have everything when it comes in, and I should be able to program it myself. Originally I was planning on only spending $100 on the key, so at least this will get me that far. You know, it was a bummer. I had to cut up the car to do it, but that's how it goes. In other news, I just found out that my song, Remember, on #1 music, I have it on Spotify. If you listen to it, go to the Spotify link. I make money at least that way. But it's #4 in California right now for on the #1 music charts, which I don't know what that really means, but I was just trying to see it, and all of a sudden now I can't even get the site to come up. But that's how it goes. At least people are listening to it, and that's good. All right, I think I'm done for today. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day. Maybe I'll clean my kitchen. Maybe I'll cook something. I don't know. We'll see. Well,